Okay, so this is the review for the second test for the second quarter. So number 1 says solve algebraically. So I have x minus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 25, and 2x plus y is equal to 25. So the first equation, the one on top, is the equation of a circle, and the equation on the bottom is your linear. And then it says to justify your solution, which means that when you're done, you're going to do a check. You're going to plug in either one, both solutions or only one if you have the one, and check to make sure it works. Okay. Okay, so I have here's my first equation, x minus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 25. And then I have 2x plus y is equal to 15. Okay, so what we want to do is put the linear, which is the second one, put that in y equals form so that we could do a substitution. So minus 2x. So I get y equals negative 2x plus 15. So now what I'm going to do is take this equation and substitute it in for the y value. So I have x minus 2 squared plus, now plug in my y, negative 2x plus 15, and then I have the minus 1 after it, squared is equal to 25. Okay, so I have x minus 2 squared plus negative 2x plus 14 squared is equal to 25. Okay, so we should all know what to do with x minus 2 squared and negative 2x plus 14 squared. We have to double distribute. So x minus 2 times x minus 2, and negative 2x plus 14 times negative 2x plus 14 equals 25. All right, so let's start double distributing. So we have x times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Negative 2x times negative 2x is positive 4x squared. Negative 2x times 14 is negative 28x. 14 times negative 2x is negative 28x. And 14 times 14 is positive 196 equals 25. Okay, so now I'm going to combine like terms. So I have x squared and 4x squared is 5x squared. Negative 2x and negative 2x is negative 4x. Minus 28x is negative 32x. Minus 28x is negative 60x. And then I have 4 plus 196 is 200 equals 25. All right, so it's a quadratic. I'm going to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to minus 25. So 5x squared minus 60x plus 175 is equal to 0. Okay, and then I noticed there is a GCF. The GCF is 5. And now I'm going to factor. It is factorable. So I'm going to do master product. So it's positive 35x squared. So what multiplies to 35 adds to 12 would be negative 7x and negative 5x. Bring down the front and the end. And then we'll factor by grouping. So the GCF of the first group is x times x minus 7. GCF of the second group is negative 5 times x minus 7. Okay, so my factors are 5 from the first part times x minus 5 times x minus 7 equals 0. So I do my t-chart. Nothing happens here. X equals 5 and x is equal to positive 7. All right, so now after you get your x values, you have to get your y values. So I'm going to plug it into the linear. Y equals negative 2x plus 15. So y equals 2 times 5, negative 2 times 5 plus 15. That you could just plug in your calculator and you get 5. So I have one solution so far. 5, 5. All right, now let's go ahead and plug 7 in. So we get y equals negative 2 times 7 plus 15. So y is equal to positive 1. So there's my other solution, 7, 1. All right, so now it says to justify. So justify would be to do a check and make sure that they both work. Okay, so I have two equations and two solutions. That means I have to have 4 checks. All right, so I'm going to plug it into the circle. So x minus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared is equal to 25. So let's start with the circle. So 5 minus 2 squared plus 5 minus 1 squared equals 25. This whole right side, you could just plug that into your calculator. You get 25 is equal to 25, and that checks. Now we're going to try 7. 7 minus 2 squared plus 1 minus 1 squared is equal to 25. So we have, plug it into your calculator, we get 25 equals 25, and that checks. All right, so we're not done. That was the circle that we justified. Now we have to justify the linear. So the linear is y equals negative 2x plus, oh sorry, not negative 2x. The original is 2x plus y equals 15. So it's 2 times 5, I'm plugging in 5, 5, plus 5 equals 15. 15 equals 15. That checks, and now you're going to try 7, 1. So it's 2 times 7 plus 1 equals 15. So 15 equals 15, and that checks. All right, let's take a look at number 2. 1B, sorry. Okay, 1B says to solve algebraically, so it's a rational equation. So my rational equation is 2 over x plus 3 over 5x is equal to 1. So remember, the goal is to eliminate the denominators. So if I multiply everything in the numerator by x, that'll take care of the x in the denominator for both this one here and this one. But then I'll be left with the 5. That means you have to multiply everything by 5 also. So I'm multiplying by 5x. So x and x reduce, so I'm left with 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 5x and 5x reduce, so I'm left with 3. Equals, nothing reduces here, so I'm left with 5x times 1 is 5x. So 13 is equal to 5x. X is equal to 13 fifths. Okay, next one. 1C. Okay, so 1C is to solve the multivariable equations. That's the 3 equations with the 3 unknowns. And it says to justify your solutions. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite them. So that would be x plus 5y minus z equals negative 17. We have negative 5x minus 5y plus 5z equals 5. And 2x plus 5y minus 3z is equal to negative 10. Okay, so this will be 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's take a look at 1 and 2. So I have x plus 5y minus z is equal to negative 17. And negative 5x minus 5y plus 5z is equal to 5. All right, so this is 1 and 2. All right, so I noticed right away that I can add and get rid of the y's because the y's are additive inverses. So they cancel out. So 1x minus 5x is negative 4x. 1z plus 5z is positive 4z. Equals negative 17 plus 5 is negative 12. All right, so that's A. All right, let's take a look at 1 and 3. All right, so 1 is x plus 5y minus z equals negative 17. And 3 is 2x plus 5y minus 3z equals negative 10. Alright, so I noticed that my y's are the same y's. I just need one of them to be negative. So I'm going to multiply the top one by negative 1. So when I multiply the top one by negative 1, I get negative x minus 5y plus z is equal to positive 17. And I'm going to keep the bottom one the same. Alright, then I add them. The 5y's cancel out. So I'm left with x minus 2z is equal to 7. Alright, so that's b. So now I'm going to rewrite a and b together. Alright, so a is negative 4x plus 4z equals negative 12. And b is x minus 2z is equal to 7. Alright, so I'm going to multiply the bottom one, the bottom equation, by positive 4. This way I'll eliminate my x values. So the top equation is going to stay the same. Negative 4x plus 4z equals negative 12. And the bottom equation becomes 4x minus 8z equals 28. Okay, the x's cancel, so I have 4z minus 8z is negative 4z. And negative 12 plus 28 is 16. Divide both sides by negative 4. Z is equal to negative 4. Alright, so now I'm going to take z, plug it into a. Oh, actually, I'll plug it into b. So x minus 2z equals 7. Z is equal to negative 4 here. So x minus 2 times negative 4 equals 7. X plus 8 equals 7 minus 8. X is equal to negative 1. Okay, so the last thing is I need to find my y value. So I have to plug it back into one of the originals. So I'm going to plug it into x plus 5y minus z equals negative 17. Alright, so x is negative 1 plus 5y minus z, which is negative 4, equals negative 17. So negative, this actually becomes positive 4. So it's negative 1 plus 4 is 3, negative 3. Positive 3, sorry. So it's 5y plus 3 is equal to negative 17. So I have 5y is equal to negative 17 minus 3 is negative 20. Divide both sides by 5, I get y is equal to negative 4. And there's my y value. So my solution is negative 1, negative 4, negative 4. Okay, so let's look at, oh, and then we have to justify the solution. All right, justifying the solution is doing the check. Okay, so my first equation is x plus 5y minus z is equal to negative 17. So I have, plugging in x, negative 1 plus 5 times negative 4 minus negative 4, does that equal negative 17? Plug the whole left side into the calculator, negative 17 equals negative 17, checks. Okay, and now we're going to try negative 5x minus 5y plus 5z equals 5. So I have negative 5 times negative 1 minus 5 times negative 4 plus 5 times negative 4, does that equal 5? Plug the whole left side in, 5 equals 5, and that checks. And the last one, which is 2x plus 5y minus 3z is equal to negative 10. So it's 2 times negative 1 plus 5 times negative 4 minus 3 times negative 4 equals negative 10. Plug the left side in, you get negative 10 equals negative 10, and that checks. Okay, so that's number 1, so let's move on to number 2. Okay, so number 2 says find the zeros algebraically and then check graphically. All right, so remember the zeros are where it crosses the x-axis. So my equation is f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. Finding the zeros means when is your y value. Remember that your y value is 0. So I set the y value equal to 0. You're solving for x. So I noticed there is a GCF. GCF is 2. And then I do notice that I can factor. So I do master product. I get negative 6x squared. So what multiplies to 6 minuses 2 and 1? That would be 3 and 2. They get different signs, and the 3 gets the plus, so that I get positive 1. And then I factor by grouping. GCF is x times x plus 3. GCF is negative 2 times x plus 3. So my factors are 2 from there times x plus 3, x minus 2 equals 0. And then I do my t-chart. Nothing's going on here. I get x is negative 3 and x is equal to 2. Those are my zeros. Those are called zeros. Alright, so I have my zeros are x is negative 3, x is 2. So now plug it in your calculator. And when you plug it in your calculator, your graph looks like this. And yes, I noticed that on the calculator it crosses at negative 3 and it crosses at 2. These are your zeros. Okay, so, or you could do second calc and do zeros and you calculate, do left bound, right bound, and that'll also give you your zeros. Okay, so let's take a look at 3. 3 is to find the inverse. So it says find the inverse here. So remember, inverse means to switch x and y. So let's take a look at the first one. We have f of x is equal to 1/5 x plus 10. I'm going to change it to y equals 1/5 x plus 10. Inverse means to switch x and y, so I switch x and y. So I get x equals 1/5 y plus 10. Now I'm going to solve for y. So I'm minus 10. X minus 10 equals 1/5 y. To get rid of the fraction, to get rid of the 5, you multiply both sides by 5. So I get 5x minus 50, make sure you distribute, equals 1y. That's my inverse. So we use inverse notation. The inverse of f of x is equal to 5x minus 50. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. B, g of x is equal to 3x minus 8. So I'm going to change to y equals 3x minus 8. Inverse, switch x and y. X equals 3y minus 8. Now we're going to solve for y. So add 8. X plus 8 equals 3y. To get rid of 3, divide both sides by 3. So I get y equals x plus 8 over 3. So this can also be written as, remember we always talked about other ways to write a solution. This could also be written as just splitting this up, the 3 underneath both. And remember there's really a 1 in front, so it's 1/3 x plus 8 over 3, and that would be the inverse of f of x. Or it could be written as the inverse of f of x is equal to x over 3 plus 8 over 3. Those are all the same thing, because remember there's really a 1 in front. Okay, so let's move on to number 4. Okay, number 4 is to find the average rate of change in the interval from negative 1 to 2. Remember, these are your x values. Your x values are going from x is equal to negative 1 to x is equal to 2. Alright, so the first one is an equation. So you want to plug that into your calculator and get the points, because you're going from negative 1 to positive 2. Alright, so for f of x, plug it in your calculator, get those 2 points. So what's the y value when x is negative 1? So that y value is equal to 6, and the y value when x is 2 is 36. Now remember, the average rate of change is the change in y over the change in x. So the change in y would be y minus, so let's put AOC for average rate of change. So it would be y minus y over x minus x. So I'm going to do 36 minus 6 over 2 minus negative 1. That's 30 over 3, which is equal to 10. That's the average rate of change for f of x. Okay, so now B, the graph. So you want to get your points. For x is negative 1. That's this point here. So that'd be negative 1, negative 2. And then I want 2 is 10. 2, 10. Alright, so my average rate of change is going to be 10 minus negative 2 over 2 minus negative 1. That's 12 over 3, which is equal to 4. All right, so now it says over here in this box, it says to compare f of x to g of x. All right, so which one's smaller? The g of x is small. So g of x is less than f of x, the average rate of change. Okay, so let's take a look at 5. Okay, 5 says you got two functions, f of x and g of x. You want to determine if f of x is a factor of g of x, so we do that by dividing. All right, so I have g of x, which is x to the third plus 3x squared minus 2x minus 2. And I'm going to divide that by x minus 8 to see if it's a factor. All right, so I say x times what gives me x to the third? That's x squared. Multiply down. We get negative 8x squared and positive x to the third. Now I subtract. Make sure you put parentheses around. Make sure you subtract. X to the third minus x to the third minus x to the third is 0. 3x squared minus negative 8x squared. So that's a minus minus, which actually becomes plus. So that's 8 plus 3 is 11 x squared. Now bring down the next number, minus 2x. All right, so I have x times what is 11x squared? That would be positive 11x. Multiply down, I get negative 88x and positive 11x squared. Subtract, put in parentheses. So 11x squared minus 11x squared is 0. Negative 2x minus negative 88x, that's a plus plus, so that's positive 86x. All right, bring down the minus 2. All right, so x times what is 86x? That's positive 86. Multiply down, so 86 times 8 is negative 688. And I have 86x here. Subtract. So when I subtract, I have 86x minus 86x is 0. Negative 2 minus negative 688, that's plus plus. That becomes positive 686. So I have a remainder. Right? So my remainder would be 600 plus 686 over x minus 8. So since there is a remainder, then x minus 8 is not a factor. So let's write that down. X minus 8 is not a factor because after long division, the remainder is not 0. Okay, so let's take a look at 5b. Okay, so 5b is to multiply f of x times g of x. So f of x times g of x here. So g of x, I'm going to put the g of x first because it's my longer polynomial. So it's x to the third plus 3x squared minus 2x minus 2. And I'm going to multiply that by x minus 8. All right, so what's negative 8 times negative 2 is positive 16. Negative 8 times negative 2x is positive 16x. Negative 8 times positive 3x squared is negative 24x squared. Negative 8 times x to the third is negative 8x to the third. All right, now we're going to want to multiply x. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. X times negative 2x is negative 2x squared. X times 3x squared is 3x to the third. X times x to the third is x to the fourth. All right, now just add them down. So I have x to the fourth. Negative 8x to the third plus 3x to the third is negative 5x to the third. Negative 24x squared minus 2x squared is negative 26x squared. 16x minus 2x is 14x, and then I have plus 16. All right, and then the last one is to subtract. We're doing f of x minus g of x. All right, so when you set this up, make sure you use parentheses because you have polynomial. So f of x is x minus 8 minus g of x, which is x to the third, minus 3x squared minus 2x minus 2. All right, now since you're subtracting, make sure you distribute that negative all the way through. So this will stay the same, x minus 8. Then I get negative x to the third plus 3x squared plus 2x plus 2. And now we'll combine like terms. So I have negative x to the third, but no other x to the third, so it's negative x to the third. I have a positive 3x squared, but no other x squared, so it's plus 3x squared. I have a 2x and a 1x, that's positive 3x. And then I have negative 8 and plus 2 is negative 6. Okay, so that's it, and study, and I'll see you in class tomorrow. Have a good night.